And we are live. Check that out. Check that out. Almost on the minute, 8:15, but it's 8:16. Uh, so this is the live stream, the Hodl Review live stream here on the chain. I'm really fired up today because there is a ton going on in this market right now, and we're going to talk about it. Before we get into talking about that, just looking at the phone here real quick. Make sure, look at that, notification went out that we are live. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about the FOMO in the market. We want to talk a little bit about the FUD in the market. We want to talk about the bull market, the bear markets, XRP, Ethereum, BTC, XLM. Really, the focus of today is to look at the leaders in the market. And there are leaders in the market. There's that top grouping. There's a ton of other stuff going on. We know there's stuff going on with ADA, Cardano. We know there's stuff going on with Zap and Chainlink. And, there's so many projects that are going on right now. It's hard to keep track. A lot of it is speculative. But what we're going to do today, we're going to take a little bit of a walk back in history since we're going to go back to about 2017. And we're going to look at the trend of the market because I feel that, feel is probably a really bad word when we're in the financial space. But as, I've been looking at the market, it's interesting because we're hitting points now today over the past week that we've never hit before. We haven't hit in the past 2 years with some digital asset, and that one's Ethereum. We're going to look back historically over the past couple of years since 2017. We want to look at XRP because XRP has tested its point right now. It's tested multiple times. I think it's interesting. Then we want to look at the market as a whole. What direction are we going in? I don't know, but there is so much utility going on right now, and the Fed is test marketing digital asset right now. So I think we got to get started, right? Let's do it. Before we get started, which we already have, but make sure you go and grab your favorite coffee. You can grab some espresso. Today, I'm back to drinking the Segfredo. It's amazing. It's got the rich fullness to it. Make it on the stovetop. You got to go with the beans, grind the beans, and you'll be happy you did. And this one is outstanding. I want to say good morning, good afternoon to everybody joining us because this show is international. We have people from all over the world that come in because they want to comment. You got people like Rob Will that could have been watching cartoons this morning, but you know what he's doing? He's here with us on the Hodl Review here on the chain because this show is more cool than what Saturday morning cartoons used to be. So look at this. We got people coming in. We got let's see, we got people from Australia. We got Caboose absent here from Australia. James Rule XRP. We have got Stevie Ripple all the way in from London. So this is great. And then we've got, let's see, the Unicaric, all about the XRP. We've got none other than Crypto Insomniac. Crypto Insomniac runs a great Telegram group. Appreciate all the help that Crypto Insomniac has been doing on our Telegram group. And if you haven't checked out our Telegram group, you can go into the description below and you can go check it out. Make sure that you're following the On the Chain Roundtable. There's two groups over there. One we just throw out there when we want to throw messages, just kind of a one-way chat. The other, the Roundtable on Telegram, the on the chain roundtable allows everybody to talk. So Crypto Insomniac has been really helpful with us over there. And then we have Chip, co-host of On the Chain. It's going to be here with me tomorrow night when we do the roundtable. We're really looking forward to that show, as we always are. So we're gonna have another great one. We had a great one last week. We're gonna have another great one this week. Let's see. We've got Arati Om all the way over in Thailand making his evening coffee, because over in Thailand right now it's about 8 o'clock at night. So it's always good to start the day with a little espresso and end the day with a little espresso. What does all this have to do with crypto? I don't know, but we've been talking about it for a long time. So anyhow, we are going to get into it. Oh, look at this. We got more UK, more New York. All right, where are we going to start? Where are we going? How is this all playing out? What are some of the interesting things going on right now? Because one thing that we definitely want to jump into, I want to look, again, as I was saying, we're going to look historically. Oh, look at that, Chip. We got another Floridian here with us. So we've got, here we go. All right. So it's interesting. I'm going to pull this up here in a second, because we're going to do a quick historical look at a couple of these digital assets. One that we're going to look at here is going to be Ethereum. The other that we're going to look at is going to be XRP. And we want to look at it historically. So let me share my screen. I want to go through, let's go through, let me see. I think I'm going to go through Ethereum first. Ethereum is hitting levels right now that we haven't seen in a couple years. And I think it's important when you start looking, everyone's focused on Bitcoin, but Ethereum, as the number 2 in the space right now, is also very important to look at from a historical perspective, because right now it sits at $433 per ETH. And it's interesting because if you go back not that long ago, you're talking about it being in a position where it was around $80, $88. So let me see here. I'm going to type in the history here. I'm going to type in 2017, and then we're going to do a full search here all the way back through 2017. Now, there's a couple of these points that we're going to be looking for. One we're going to look for is December 15th of 2018. Why are we going to look at December 15th, 2018? Because that was the market low. That was the bottom of the market, complete bottom for Ethereum. And so from there, we're going to backtrack and say, okay, when was the last time we saw $400? When was the last time we saw more than $400? How far back does it actually go? And what's the significance for it? As we're looking into the market and the future of the market, I think that's important. Look at that, Michigan in the house as well. Go Michigan! You've got so Bob Higgs over in Michigan. I lived in Michigan at one point. I was up in the Detroit area. Not sure where you're at, but that's great. So let's see here. Where was I? All right. Montreal. We got Canada here. Another Floridian. So we got Lisa Marie in Florida. And then we've got, who is Orlando? Where did Orlando go? I saw Orlando fly by, and now I lost it. Oh, there we go. Rob Will, Orlando. We got a lot of people here from, you know why everybody's chiming in from Florida? Because Florida just happens to be the greatest state. So that's it. All right. So let's let me share my screen here, because we're going to do this little walk back. We're going to start with Ethereum, then we're going to move into XRP. Then there's a ton of other things that we want to talk about today, because there's some real world utility that we have to focus in on. So let's see here. Which one are we going to look at? Let's look at the historical data for Ethereum. Now, let's look at where we're at today. Where are we today? Where's the date? All right. Here we go. August 14th, 2020. So here we have, today's the 15th though, isn't it? Today's the 15th. Why isn't it showing us right now? Let's go up here. Here's right now, real time, live. You've only seen it here. Seen it here first. Okay, so here's ETH right now sitting at $433. This is crazy, because as we're going to see the progression to touch $400. Now, we saw the turn yesterday, or at some point between the 13th and the 14th. We saw a close here at $428, but it did touch the 400s. It's been kind of dabbling in these 400s over the past week. And it's interesting because, as we look now we're reaching, bigger highs. So we've already seen yesterday a high of 444. It closed out at 437. But now let's backtrack. Let's start looking back through history, because this week is really a turning point, in my opinion. I mean, it could turn around and go all the way back to who knows what. But the market is showing, it's really impressive. And we have to figure out what's carrying the market. Is it, is it kind of the sign of the times with what's going on? Is it something else? Is Ethereum blowing up all of a sudden, and you have unbelievable usage and use cases of Ethereum outside of what's already been there? What is carrying the market up? And how is this going to relate to the market as a whole? What kind of lessons can we learn from it? Because as we look back through history, look at this. Now we're in July of 2020, right? We're in the 200s. And then as you go back into May, and it went back into the 100s. And then we keep going backwards in time. Now we're in February. It tested, we're back in the 200 range. And we're back in the 100 range back in January. And then we keep going backwards into 2019, where we're in the hundreds. And let's just keep going backwards, because we're going to get to a point here, where it's showing a little, you started seeing these short, comebacks here in the 170s. Boom, it's going back up in the 200s. This was 2019, but we got to keep going back and back and back and back. And so we're talking about Ethereum right now over $400, and this is crazy, because when was the last time we saw $400? Look at this. So this is all of 2018. And here we are. Here's the low point right here. Boom. December 15th, 2018 was really the bottom of the market. In terms of when I talk about bottom of the market, I'm referring it back to when Ethereum and the whole market busted out and came, in that last quarter of 2017. So I guess I need to put that into perspective. So we're not talking about, we're talking about that 2017 rush when the market went up. And then, we saw a downward crawl. It was faster than a crawl to hit December 15th of 2018 when we hit that $82 mark. But from there, look at this, hundreds, 200s. We're going through September. I'm looking for the last time we saw 400. Here we go. So the last time we saw 400 was August 7th of 2018. So interesting, right? 2 years ago. So it's been 2 years since Ethereum has been over $400 and touched $400, been anywhere near $400. And here you can see, where was Ethereum back in that 2018 period? We saw a lot of downward trends on Ethereum because of where the market had been. If you guys were around, I know a lot of you have been around since that period of time, when we were in that January mode where Ethereum was at $1,000. Again, 15 minutes we've been talking about Ethereum, and people are probably tuning in. What the hell? Why are we talking about Ethereum? And we're doing this historical look backwards. I think it's interesting because here you go. Here's where that climb was. When we saw that mass climb in that last quarter of 2017. But how crazy is it that we haven't really seen anything like this in all this time? I mean, it's been 2 years. 2 years people have been sitting in this market, and it's crazy. I mean, it's amazing. So Brian Adams, check that out. Hey, we're just talking about you. Brian spelled with a Y though. We're just talking about you yesterday. So you've never seen what's about to happen in digital. XRP is king. Digital is crazy. I mean, it's crazy. To these points, Bitcoin hit 20,000. Nobody thought anything was going to happen. And I guess that's the point. There's so much going on right now in this space. And that was Ethereum. Then when we look at XRP is interesting. Here we go. What does that say? Eric, Ethereum is amazing. And look at Eric's joining us from Periscope. So, we're streaming on 2 platforms right now. We're on YouTube, which most of you guys are on. And then we're also over on Periscope. And the Periscope chat comes through right over here. And I can throw you guys up on the screen when you comment. So Eric's been commenting, a few times here. He's got some Tezos. And there's some good comments in here. If you guys have any specific comments, questions, whatever, make sure that you throw it up there. Try to keep your comments to yourselves if they're like Chip. All the nut jobs live down here in Florida. So, all right, what do we got here? It's interesting. There's so much going on, So Flare is about to kick ETH in the face. You know what? That brings up a good point. Then we're going to segue over to the historical look at XRP in a minute, and we're going to talk about some other stuff. But that is an interesting comment because, from my perspective, I look at the smart contract space that Ethereum kind of developed and created was very, very significant to the overall benefit of the financial market space. Especially from a contractual perspective, smart contracts were needed. It was like a missing element. So we had this conversation last week when Mark Phillips was on with us, and we were talking about, where did Bitcoin come from? What was the impetus to creating Bitcoin? Was it a group of individuals? Was it an individual? Was it someone creating it for nefarious purposes to actually move away from banking? Or was it a government program in order to test the market, in order to see what would happen, in order to feel it out, to see what this digital economy could look like and what was possible? Who knows? We don't know. But the one thing we know is that Bitcoin came out. It served a purpose. It serves a purpose. It's not in every single purpose. And Bitcoin, for instance, great store of value. That's the argument. Can it be used for exchange and trade and on a daily basis? Too costly, too slow. Ethereum, what was Ethereum out there for? A lot of projects were built on the Ethereum platform, and it offers something critical, which was the smart contract. It establishes those trust lines, which is really, really important. Now, so what is Bruh bringing up? Bruh XRP, Bruh, yeah, what's up, Bruh? So he is, what he's saying is that Flare is now going to offer some competition. Flare, if you go check out Flare, I know Chip and I dug through that. We're going to make a video on Flare and try to talk about Flare. Chip, you were going to roll out a short. It was so confusing. I don't know. We were digging through it. Even people's comments were like, what the hell did you just write? Can you put this in Cliff Notes? Something a little bit easier to understand. It was tough. It was so difficult. So there's so much going on, but here you go. Ethereum paves the way on smart contracts. Here comes Flare that's going to build it on the XRP ledger, and it's going to establish trust lines, but also communication to Ethereum smart contracts. It's like an interoperability, interconnectivity of these smart contract platforms. I don't know why. I can't figure that out. I don't know why the two, why you want to have an XRP smart contract work with an Ethereum smart contract. I'm sure there's a purpose, and someone out there probably knows what that's all about. But it's critical. This space, you need competition as well. So if you're the only one that is doing smart contracts, that's not good for the market. You definitely need somebody else to say, hey, I like what you did, and I'm gonna one up you, because if I can one up you, then you're gonna try to one up me. And who benefits? The people benefit when you have multiple companies competing in the same space for the same kind of projects. It's important. That's what we want to see. Check this out. It's 8:35 in the morning here. We've got 64 people with us on Saturday morning here on the chain. If you guys haven't done so already, go down below, check out the website. Go check out onthechain.io, because if you don't know when we're dropping a video, or you want to go back and watch videos, because we have two YouTube channels. We have this one with all the live streams, and then we have another channel with a lot of shorter videos. You can go check that out. You can subscribe to that one down below as well, but it's important. So, all right, now let's go over to, here, look at Brian here. See that? Bitcoin is too costly, too slow for any real adoption, but it has trust. And you know what they say, trust is everything. Exactly. Plus, they have the first mover advantage. They were the first in. Important. It's definitely critical to be in. Yeah, here we go. Stevie Ripple from London. More competition. Oh, no, wait. I might be mistaken. Can't remember Orlando or London. Might have mixed you up someone else. More competition, more choice, more people, more growth, all good. Exactly. That's exactly what we need. That's good stuff. So, all right, yeah, London. That's right. See, I was right. London. Man, I love going over to the UK. Yeah, I feel so antsy right now. I haven't traveled in so long. I haven't been on a plane for a long time, and it's crazy. These past 5 months has been insane. I can't believe I haven't been on a plane. I can't believe I haven't gone anywhere in 5 months. And it's just like, from going to traveling all the time, then to come to a complete halt, and here we go. Um, but anyhow, let's see here. We got Barbara Taylor. Barbara, good to see you. Barbara ran out and got got some coffee. Which coffee did you get? Which one did you end up getting, Barbara? It was great. Good stuff though. All right, so there we go. I appreciate that, Joni. Love the live streams. There's another one, ADA. So there's a ton of smart contracts in the space. We can go through them. They're all popping up. What is up, Stack and Zerps? Good to see you here. All right, let's pull up. Okay, I got XRPs. It's all queued up here, but you guys can't see it. I've got too many tabs open. Let me move this over here, and let's stop sharing that tab. The only problem with StreamYard here is you can only share one tab at a time. I want to set them up and put multiple tabs down below, and I can't do it. If you guys are content creators and you guys haven't used StreamYard, go check it out. It's really, really cool. All right, so is this the XRP that we know? Here we go. We're going to do a quick historical look through this one because there's not a ton to look at when we go back to a couple years. Here it sits. You know what I saw when you look at it from a historical perspective? It seems like XRP is one of the more stable coins in the market. I was going to call this video XRP the greatest stable coin ever created, but it does fluctuate, and when it fluctuates, little minor fluctuations, it gets into those periods of time when the rest of the market jumps, it jumps up a little. It's basically, I won't say it's doubled since it's, we're down in the 17-cent range. But when it holds a position, it holds strong. We saw like with Ethereum. Ethereum hasn't tested that $400 spot for a long time, and it was like 80 to 400. That's a pretty big difference. But with XRP, it's always like tight and consistent. One thing that I was thinking about is market manipulation. Now you've got 44 billion coins, tokens in circulation. There's now under 100 billion that are left based on burn off, lost, etc. The max supply was 100 at one point, not anymore. But what's interesting, so a lot of people talk about market manipulation. Now, at these lower levels, if you look at like in the stock market, penny stocks, and you start looking at the trends, similar to what happened with Dogecoin a few weeks ago. We talked about it last week with Mark Phillips, that there was a lot of commotion going on Twitter with a concerted effort to pump the market up to higher levels. Now, when there's an organized, concerted effort to pump a market like that in a pump and dump type environment, it borders on being a little bit unethical, to the point where maybe a little bit illegal to pump and dump a market. Obviously, when it's out in the open like that, when you have people concerted trying to get more people to buy to push the market up. Because at the end of the day, when you're pushing and creating that FOMO and manipulation of the market to try to do that outright, doing that, somebody gets left holding the bag. I mean, so many of these novice investors out there don't understand that there's somebody else on the other end. You're not playing the market against the market. It's not a market. It's other people make up the market. So when Dogecoin was pushed up to 0.004 from 0.0018, let's say, and all of a sudden it goes up 4 times, whatever, or four, whatever the number is, then somebody on the top that bought at 0.004 and they got stuck. So now you're basically pushing this market to get, jam somebody else to hold the bags that you bought at 0.0018, 0.002, whatever it was. And that's wrong. Now, what's interesting, with XRP, with this 100 billion holding, and some people say, oh my God, there's so much of it. But you think about it from a perspective of what does it take to manipulate the market? How many of these do you need to have to manipulate the price point of the market? Now, a lot of people are saying that Ripple themselves was, impacting the market because they hold, but they have X amount in custody at this point. There's 44 billion in circulation, but Ripple, said that they were buying up. We talked about this a little bit last week as well. What is that, the ramification of them buying? Are they removing from weak hands? And I saw a comment that just came up in here, and I'm going to post that in a minute when it comes to, not having regulation, in this space right now, and that the XRP is more of a custody solution at this point. So it's so interesting, to have this kind of circulation. It's interesting to see what Ripple is doing behind the scenes. It's interesting to see, the people on the board of the company. One of the things, I was trying to queue up a video that we did with Alex Mashinsky about a month or so ago. And then Alex joined us. We did a great one on Celsius with him. And then we did kind of a behind the scenes, get to know Alex video that's on the other channel. I was scrolling through it. I'm going to queue it up for tomorrow when we talk on the roundtable. But I thought it was really interesting because one of the things that he brought up was the importance of blockchain and the importance of establishing trust. I'm sorry, I'm kind of not paying attention to the chat right now, but it's so critical. It's so vital, the direction that we're moving in. A lot of people don't understand it. But the one thing that we take out of that conversation is when you look at a project, you look at like Bitcoin, for instance, you don't know who's behind that project. We don't know anything about that project. We guess at what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin has first mover advantage in the space as a known entity. But then you look around and you say, okay, there's, I don't know how many thousands of projects out there right now, all these different tokens out there right now. And you look, a lot of them are pointless. A lot of them don't have a use case. They're not even tied to a use case. Then you look at like XRP, and a lot of people in the beginning said, oh, it's a banker's coin, and whatever, you don't want to be tied to it because it's the banks, and it doesn't make any sense, and it's centralized, it's controlled, and etc. But then you look at what Ripple was doing, and Ripple utilizing and putting X amount into custody, or into escrow, sorry. And what their objective was in this space as a third party. But again, the people that are involved on the project, like a David Schwartz, what was his background? Where did he come from? And we talked about this a little bit last time, was the timing of the project on the heels of Bitcoin. So it was like Bitcoin comes out in 2010, and within 2 years, you have multiple projects that start coming out after that, and XRP was one of them. Ripple, formed, shortly in that time frame. And it's amazing because their objective was at that point, and still is today, was to overcome the hurdles and deficiencies within the cross-border payment space, which is monumental. The B2B space, business to business space, money transaction, even though it seems easy. I don't have my wallet here with me, but take out your credit card, you can pay for stuff, pick up the phone, you go online. Most countries can't easily go on and send money through the bank. In the US, we can go on to log into your account, you can do an ACH, you can do a bank wire. It's easy to do, relatively easy, so to speak. But let's say like Bank of America. I had someone trying to transfer money to me multiple times from Bank of America. They accidentally did an ACH. I told them to do a bank wire. They sent it to the wrong account. The money gets tied up for a week. Now we're a week behind schedule for the project we're working on, and it throws everything into chaos. And so I say, okay, no, you got to do a bank wire. All right, but the bank wire costs $30 for my transaction and the ACH is $5. All right, well, do an overnight ACH. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. It's $10. You got to pay the money if you want the project to move forward. The problem is that we lose a week, and now they go on and they try to do a bank wire. And guess what? Now Bank of America isn't playing nice, even though it's going over, in this case, not Swift, but they're routing it through, internal mechanisms in the U.S. Now you bring that internationally, and from an international perspective, you have clients, they have to physically go into their bank to move money. But now you have two parties, exchange rates, the dollar strong, their exchange weak. You have all these issues. Sorry, I didn't even, I'm stuck on that screen for no reason. But you've got all this stuff going on. I want to shout out to Rough Rican. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I was on another tab. I should have been watching this. Really appreciate that support from Rough Rican. Really appreciate that. So then you're in the transaction point. My point with all of this is that you look at real world investment or real world utility. Check this out. We got 75 on with us Saturday morning. It's almost 8:45. People from all over the world here on the chain with a HODL review Saturday morning. It's awesome. I don't care, morning, evening, whatever it is. Make sure you guys grab your espresso. So, we look at this, we look at what it's going to take. So here I am, back in, let's say, like it was like 2014, and I'm working on this major project over in India, and I'm telling our clients over in India, we need to move the money. You got to get the money, you got to get the project started so we can send the stuff over to you guys over in India. And we already know there's going to be like a 4 or 5 week delay on the ship. And so here, I'm waiting for them to transfer money. Those guys want to use a letter of credit. We want the money. I need the money. They want to put their money in the letter of credit that goes into their bank's escrow in order to take advantage of currency changes and all of this. So it gives them a little bit of a net term because their bank is giving them some credit term, whatever. It's like this big disaster mode. But here we are now, the guys over in India delaying the project because the rupee to the dollar between one day to the next changed so much that their cost would go up by something like $5,000 to $6,000 per unit. And I'm like, holy crap. Now all of a sudden, because of a small currency fluctuation, they say, well, now we got to wait. So the point with all of this is that in a real world environment, the cross-border payment solution is critical. And so Ripple, they understand what they're taking on. They're not taking on something small. I think people a lot of times kind of miss the point of the significance of what Ripple has been doing to try to unseat Swift, because Swift isn't the end all be all solution. All Swift is a communication device, a common communication language that all banks around the world have agreed to, and they use it through this platform in order to communicate data and details to one another for movement of money. But they're not actually doing the settlement. They're not actually moving the money. You need another party to actually complete settlement. Swift is only the in-between to help that. So here comes Ripple. And Ripple said, you know what, we can do what Swift can do, and we can do it better because we're going to build it on the blockchain. And we're going to streamline this process. So here comes Ripple, and they create a solution, which was XCurrent. And XCurrent, which is used by the RippleNet software solution, is the communication device. Now, in that XCurrent solution, they were able to do so much stuff, so much more than what Swift could do. And so then they say, you know what? They had something called XRapid, and now it's termed ODL, on-demand liquidity, a game changer. Our bank's using ODL right now, which is utilizing XRP in order to speed up the transaction and settlement of currency. We have to believe that they are behind the scenes, and we're not going to know about it. Jungle Inc. brought up that ODL, I think it was up, I forget the percentage, it was up like 20% or whatever the number was in the utility of the on-demand liquidity of the ODL. So then you have people that are spreading FUD that said, oh, Ripple, XRP, meaningless, doesn't do anything, will never do anything, etc. The XRP ledger is probably one of the most important aspects right now today of our financial system for transaction and movement of money beyond anything. Blockchain, Bitcoin can't achieve it. Ethereum can't achieve it. None of the other platforms can achieve it. Not saying that you can't move your money through an exchange. If I want to send my money to Stevie Ripple over in London, I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to send you some Ethereum. I go onto my app. I can send him Ethereum. That's not the problem. If I want to send him, $3 million in Ethereum, I'm sure I can do it. There's going to be cost involved in all of that. From a banking perspective, from a business perspective, you need a little bit of structure. You have to have the trust environment. You have to worry about exchange currencies. I mean, there's so much more because you have one group dealing with dollars, one, Stevie over there in London dealing with pounds, somebody over in Thailand dealing with whatever your currency is over there, the Aussies dealing with, the Australian dollar. You've got, anybody, throughout Europe dealing with your euros, and so now we got to transact. We got to complete. The guys over in India dealing with the rupee. There's so many, intricacies to completing a business transaction, and we could feasibly do it, through some of the technology right now in the digital asset space. But let's step into reality. With the banking systems and how they function and how they operate. You need all these platforms, and and again, what Ripple is offering up is really, really amazing. Regardless of what people say. It's definitely critical, so this is really bizarre. Minnesota, Johnny Nguyen, all the way in from Minnesota. And this name Nguyen, I've seen this like pop up so many times recently, not here, but in other things that I've been working on. That's really interesting. Check it out. The phallic doctor over here has lemons, lemon tree. Got the lemon tree if you guys want some lemons over there. So, all right. So this is, the point with this is, we get into and we look at these projects. We look at the bridge asset. The bridge asset, important. You need to have some communication. One rough Rican, man, always appreciate your support and your comments. Awesome. You've been on, Ripple's been on this since 2004. They even said they're not changing their model, right? So why would they change their model? Now, people, if you're not involved in building a business, if you never built a business before, especially at this scale, we can't second guess what those guys know and what those guys are doing. They set their goal and their focus in one direction. As you're going in this one direction, sometimes things get thrown at you that deviate your path, or you get to see, hey, you know what? We're going at this, but check this out. This will be amazingly complementary to the business, to our business solution that's really going to get us, to where we're going longer term. So we need to incorporate and we need to do this too. And so let's send a division over here. You guys do that. You guys get into the smart contracts. We're going to support Flare over here financially. We're going to support this one. Oh, check out MoneyGram. MoneyGram is going to be an important asset to helping us move money at a retail level, but we need some of their technology. We need to really create more of a proof case for ODL. We need to see that ODL functioning and flowing. All right, let's invest heavily in that project. I mean, you look around, if you think about it, people are nitpicking some of these projects, like let's say Ripple, which is a company utilizing the XRP ledger. Are they fully engaging and using XRP? They're not 100% using it. I don't even know if they're 10% using it. But there are other projects that are being built on the ledger that are using XRP, that will use XRP, that are using, and we're seeing that as a whole with other projects. But from Ripple's perspective, did they deviate? They haven't deviated their message one bit. They're still taking on the Goliath, and there's other things that need to happen. it's interesting. I think it's amazing. I mean, look at this, how we got sidetracked on this all the way from Compton. We got Black Betty. Awesome. Glad to have you here. Awesome that you just tuned in. Alaska. Holy cow. I don't think we've had anyone from Alaska on yet. Crypto patient. Awesome. So let's see. We've got Flint, Michigan. Look at that. Ripple my nipples from Flint, Michigan. All right, in Germany. Man, we got people, Rhode Island. Man, see this? Let's see who else we got popping in here. Man, I love to see, how many people, we have, from all over the world that tune in here, back up to 73. Let's see here. Just going back through some of the chat. All right, so let's see what we got here. Where are we? All right, going back, reading message. All right, let's go back to looking at Ripple real quick. I mean Ripple. Let's go back to looking at XRP. What is up, Papa Bear? All the way from. We've got such a great following over in Australia. It's phenomenal. I love. Someday we'll make it to Australia. I haven't been to Australia yet. I think it's the one area I haven't been to. I don't know if I'm up for the 80-hour flight to get there, especially not now. XRP will make the next baby boom era. The digital asset space is going to remake the financial world. Portugal. Nice. What's up, Miguel? So, all right, let us take a look. What were we doing here? All right, here we go. Let me add this to the stream again. Let's take a quick look at XRP. All right, we're going to do a quick historical look. We looked at Ethereum early on. If you guys are just joining us, we are looking for that August 2nd, 2018 point, which was the last time Ripple, the last time Ethereum hit hit $400, and we looked at December 15th of 2018, which was the low point for Ethereum. That was the bottom of the market since the last quarter 2017 high. And so now we're going to look at XRP, because XRP is interesting from a historical perspective. Where does the XRP live? XRP has lived ever since 2017, that last quarter, has lived in the teens and 20s. I mean, it's amazing, right? And when it lives there, and it's stable and it doesn't budge. And the volume, is interesting. When you look at total volume of trades, it's interesting. It really is, because, volume did dip off here. Look at this period of time in July. We saw, some real, low volume numbers over here. But the point is, look at where it's lived, in the 20s. The last time we saw 30 cents, which is where we're at now. We're at 29, 30 cents. With XRP, unlike Ethereum, we've hit this 30-cent mark, multiple times, but we haven't seen 30 cents right now since February. It's interesting. I don't know. Take it for what it's worth. I think it's interesting, looking at where the numbers are going and the market growth is going, because Ethereum, again, 2 years, we haven't seen $400 in Ethereum as the number 2 token, in the space right now. Obviously, we're seeing some movement, in general with XRP, which there's a lot of followers that follow it. Where does it live? But, February, we saw that 30-cent spot. And then before that, it was in the 20s again, kind of where it's hovered now for, hovers there, for a long time. January, December was in the 20s. And then here we go again. So we're touching the October 2019. Was the last time we were in that. So the point is that it kind of hits and then backs off and kind of goes back into its comfort zone. Here, August 2019 period of time, we saw that 30-cent mark holding. It was just like, boom, 40 cents. But then back down. So here we are back in May 2019. It was back in those 30s. And it held strong for the longest time, 30s to but 30s was its place. That's where it lived. That's where it loved to be. I don't know what any of this means, but it's interesting to look at it, right? just as an overall trending of where the market's going, where it's been, where it's going. You look at Ethereum, look at Bitcoin. We could do the same thing and break it down. But anyhow, I thought that was kind of cool. So let's see. Stevie Ripple would rather have it stable. It would be amazing. Could you imagine it stable at that, $1,000, $2,000 range? That would be interesting. So, it's crazy. It really is crazy. Matt, come to Sydney. Man, I gotta get over there. I definitely want to get over to Australia. I feel like if I go to Australia, I might not leave. It seems like it's a great place to be, but I don't know if I could take the toilets, moving in the wrong direction. So all right. So we've talked a ton of stuff about this. Here we go. So I would have to dig back through here. I got to figure out where that one comment was. Who made that comment about XRP being for custody? Stack and Zerp said Ethereum can't scale even with Ethereum 2.0 gas free. Just too high, or gas fees, sorry, are too high. Can't compete in the space. Now this was way back up here. I wish I would have grabbed it. Let me see. Okay. No. All right. It's got to be here somewhere. So. Yeah. Let's see here. All right. I don't see it. All right. Anyhow. So what we got to look at. Toilets are better here for sure. Yeah. That's hilarious. I really. You go to Australia, flush the toilet, and you're like, what the hell is going on? Why is it going the wrong way? For them, it's the right way, but for us, everyone else in the world, it's the wrong way. How in the world does that happen anyway? Why is Australia going in the wrong direction? So, all right, here, let's blast through some of this stuff here. Check this out. So the Fed. Now, I find it interesting. Anytime the government or big corporations, banks, anything like that, anytime they say in public, I guess I'm trying to think of the right way to phrase this. Anyway, anytime they will put something out there in public, pretty much means they've already done it, or they've already been doing it. And so here on Market Watch, I don't know if you guys check out Market Watch at all. Oh, here we go again. I gotta stop sharing, resharing. I gotta look for my tab, and I gotta look for the Fed. Here we go. So, so here you go. The Fed says it's developing on an experimental digital currency. It's interesting, because some of the things that they should have been doing, that maybe they hadn't been doing, but check this out. To become a reality, any digital equivalent of cash would need lengthy policy process, and no decision has been made to start one. That's from the Fed. Obviously, you need policy. Obviously, you need some regulatory clarity. They're talking about testing a hypothetical digital. Of course, they're testing it. Of course, it's been going. They've been testing it. Of course, they're looking for solutions. Of course, they see what China's doing with their fully centralized, dominated central bank digital currency. That China's on the tail end of their actual out there in the real world, in the native environment, testing of a digital currency. China in a completely different perspective. We've talked about it so many times, but given the dollar's important role as a global reserve currency, it's essential the Fed remain on the frontier of research and policy development of digital currencies. I think that's really, really key. Some of the points that they're bringing up. Now, does any of this, have to do with what's going on in the crypto space? Let's call it the digital asset space that we all have come to love and know. Not necessarily. However, when they start building in this space, are they really going to be doing it on their own? Do they do it on their own? Is there, possibility that these guys are going to be incorporating somebody else's solution. Does the government ever build anything? Government doesn't build anything. Government incorporates others, other projects. They bring in third parties in order to do it. But that's important. They contract out. Now, it's interesting because we don't know what the end is going to be, but Ripple as a company has a track record and has really done amazing things in the financial space already. There's others that are looking to play in that space. IBM, which nobody really, we haven't done enough back research to see all the different projects IBM has got into, as they've even, incorporated a lot of the Stellar back end into IBM, what IBM did with it. But IBM still, people think, if you think about, most of us probably remember IBM when it was an actual actual hardware. And then they disappear from hardware, but they're controlling all these things on the back end, from a high level, enterprise level. So obviously IBM also the back end of corporations and banking and whatever it might be, they have a big play in this space as well. So what exactly is going to be happening? I'm not sure, we all really fully know exactly, where this is driving to. But the one thing is for certain is that the world is moving faster and faster, towards digital asset adoption. Right? It's just, it's a foregone conclusion at this point. It's just a matter of, who's going to be in full control. So here you go. Brian Adams, this is the greatest transfer of wealth in human history. And it really is, from so many different levels. You look at what's been going on for 5 months, and you can't tell me that, that wasn't, somewhat orchestrated. Another conversation. A lot of things have happened from a global economic perspective, over a period of time. The one thing this other element doesn't understand is that human nature, people are there's a lot of ingenuity with it's part of human nature. So you could try to dominate and control people through political initiatives, political agendas. You can try the communist Chinese can try to batter down people over in Hong Kong and take away their freedoms. We just saw they arrested a media mogul over in Hong Kong because he was outspoken. They bring him in. We don't know what they did to him when they arrested him, but what was his message coming out was be careful what you say, because they're ratcheting down, they're clamping down on people's freedoms, on freedom of expression, freedom of speech. In the United States, same thing. We're seeing big tech, big media dominating and controlling the messaging that people are allowed to hear, and they're ratcheting down on freedom of messaging, freedom of speech, as we see this cancel culture expanding globally, because it's not just in the United States. We see this in a full-blown initiative of this cancel culture on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook, in mainstream media, coming out of politics across the board. The one thing that blockchain maintains, and they forget about the ingenuity of the people, because I don't care what country you're in, I don't care what continent you're in, I don't care what the economic status of that country is. The blockchain digital asset space is that one step into people's livelihoods, into people taking full control, over themselves, and, being able to build wealth, for, generations from a community perspective. It takes out the political initiative. Now, what's happening as we're seeing all of these power plays, there's certain elements that want people to maintain their freedoms, and they want people to be allowed to continue to maintain their wealth and look after their families, look after their friends, and be self-reliant. Then there's other elements within society, whether it's in the United States, the UK, Thailand, China, India, South America, wherever you go, there's elements that are very outspoken right now, and we see them outspoken trying to clamp down on those freedoms, trying to destroy our freedoms, trying to take advantage of our freedoms by utilizing our freedoms against us and claiming that they have freedom of speech in order to shut us down. And that is not true whatsoever. I don't care what country you're in. In the United States of America, we have something called a Constitution. And in this Constitution, there's two amendments that are the most critical amendments of all time. Number one is freedom of speech. And number two is the right to bear arms in order to protect that freedom of speech. This is the most critical element. I don't care what country you're in, but there's elements within society. Forget about politics as a whole, but there's elements within society across the globe that want to clamp down on you. They want to shut you down, and they want to make you subservient to the upper class. That'll never happen. Blockchain is the one element that allows us to maintain our freedom through cryptocurrency, digital asset, whatever it is. People right now have that opportunity to continue to hold on to their livelihoods. The biggest, greatest transfer of wealth in the history of mankind is happening right now. This is our opportunity, the people opportunity to maintain that wealth and make sure that we keep it out of the hands of the others that want to dominate you and control you for all time. They want to shut you down on your platforms. They want to shut you up. They want to shut you down if you talk about Bitcoin or XRP or Ethereum, and they shut down platforms on Twitter. They shut down platforms on YouTube. If you're outspoken, you say the wrong thing politically, they shut you down. If you have a difference of opinion on the beer flu, they shut you down. The one way we maintain it, the ingenuity of human beings, of mankind across the globe, is what's critical. Right here, we have people from all over the world sharing ideas, sharing information. This is the leveling of the playing field. When they talk about a leveling of the playing field, we're not talking about bringing everybody down to meet the lowest common denominator like they've done in schools throughout the United States, always dumbing down the education system to meet the lowest common denominator instead of trying to pick the lowest common denominator up to the highest level. They want to bring everybody down through overtaxation. They want to bring it down through overregulation, over control, the zealousness of the politicians across the globe. It has to end. And it's right here on this channel, on the chain, and wherever else we speak, where we gather. People from all over the world gather because we share ideas, we share opinions, and we build it for ourselves. It's the most amazing thing that could ever happen. So that is the rant. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unprecedented. This is the greatest, this is the greatest transfer of wealth, the greatest transfer of information ever. This right now, what we're seeing with digital asset and blockchain is bigger than the internet itself. You know, even Alex Mashinsky, that was the messaging I was trying to line up here. He's talking about we're seeing a transfer of wealth, but we're seeing a destruction, a tearing down of the legacy financial world. So as you break down the financial world, you break down the legacy, who comes out of the ashes? What rises up out of the ashes? The people rise out of the ashes, and the leaders of tomorrow are not going to be the leaders of today or yesterday. The only thing is, what we have to be careful of is that we don't allow the socialists, the communists, and all those who want to control you, dictate you, take away your wealth, take away your right of earning, take away your right to protect your family. All those people that are marching globally, dressed in black, covered in black, hijacking and pretending to be against fascism and actually promoting and through every action they're portraying, and they are the fascists. And we have to be very, very careful, cognizant, and aware of the right messaging, because even in this space, in the digital asset space, U.S. Congress lying to you when they're trying to tell you that the digital dollar that they were going to put into the CARES Act is going to be beneficial to the people. Not beneficial to the people. It was a complete lie. It was fraudulent, and they tried to shove it down our throats in order to control us and dominate us. So that's the one thing we can't easily go into the digital. We can't go into the digital economy without understanding what it means. China, through their central bank digital currency, is going to be all controlling. We already know that they have social scoring on social media. We already know that they're destroying the media, and we're seeing what's happening over in Hong Kong in front of our eyes. It's the most amazing thing. We saw World War II. The years that led up to World War II, we saw what they did to minority classes throughout Europe. We saw what they did to Jews. We saw what they did on Kristallnacht when they took all the Jewish stores, and they broke out their windows and they burned their books. We saw as they rounded up Jews and brought them to gas chambers. We saw as they rounded up others, how many millions and millions of people died during World War II under fascism. Now we're seeing it rise up in our streets again. We see them parading around and trying to cram their politics down our throats, and trying to control and dominate what we say. It just isn't right. It is the leveling of the playing field comes from both sides. The leveling of the playing field comes from us, the people, we, the people, globally. I don't care if we're in South America. I don't care if we're in Africa, in the United States, in Australia, in Asia. Doesn't matter where we are, because we, the people, are a lot stronger when we're together than when we're apart. And that's the one thing that the final messaging that I can ever put out there is the financial element that's battering us right now, dividing us racially, dividing us religiously, dividing us by class. That's the initiative. Divided we fall from a global perspective. But again, the ingenuity of the people, the leveling of the playing field, bring down that political class and allow the people to have more say and control the messaging that we put out there, not the messaging that they want us to hear. When you turn on your TV and you listen to CNN or Fox News or any of the other mainstream medias out there, they're going to give you the messaging they want you to hear. But the thing is that you need to take your messaging and understand this space and do your own research, because as you research in the digital asset space, and we understand and we know and we see the transfer of wealth taking place, and we want to take a stand in that space. Like Alex Mashinsky said, the leaders of tomorrow are not the leaders of yesterday. Those leaders might still be there. There was another book that I was reading, about how to achieve wealth or whatever it was. It was written at the turn of the century. Probably one of the most amazing recorded books of all time, because he wrote that at the turn of the century, recorded it at the turn of the century. And he's talking about, individuals that are one day are digging a ditch, the next day they're entrepreneurs and they're leading business. And that is true then, and it's true today. The others will have you believe that there are no freedoms, that you can't succeed. It doesn't matter. Whatever adversity is put in front of individuals, they overcome, because that's the ingenuity of people. And that's what we're seeing in the blockchain. That's what we're seeing globally. You're always going to be able to overcome, regardless of the corruption that's on the streets or the corruption that's in politics. You look at places like Cuba, do people somehow find a mechanism to overcome the brutality of a communist controlled environment? Do the people in North Korea somehow find a way to eke out a living and make their way through society, through a brutal dictatorship of communist control? Did people in Soviet Union find a mechanism, although they robbed them of everything? Everything. You go into a socialist environment, and the idea of socialism is to rob you of everything, rob you of your thoughts, rob you of your freedom, rob you of your money. They take everything. So anybody who believes that there could be a socialist run government, purely socialist, based on the ideals that we're hearing coming out of these governments, without a balance, without a counterbalance, is insane. Because we know where socialism leads. It leads into complete, total control, centralized control of a communist nature. It's happened time and time again. Countries fall through that socialist environment. They take away your freedoms, and they don't help build people up. They bring people down. They're leveling the playing fields and dumbing it down. They want everyone to be fair down here. They don't want everyone to be fair up here. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And it's through blockchain, it's through digital asset that there's a leveling of the playing field that gives everybody another opportunity. So that there were so many other things I wanted to get into over here. Also, just seeing what's really happening in the blockchain space. We just have to be very, very aware and cognizant as we move forward. This is freaking amazing, man. You guys are awesome. You guys are outstanding. I love it. We had 72 people on here right now. We've been on for a little bit over an hour. This has been man, I had a lot of fun. You guys, all of the comments you guys are throwing in there, the conversation is phenomenal. It's great. So I just want to say, make sure you guys go down, check out in the description, check it out. We've got 2 channels. Make sure you go browse over to the other channel. If you're new to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We definitely want to see you guys back on every single Saturday morning. We're here live stream, and we'll throw out all sorts of knowledge. It's a crazy. We never know which direction we're going to go on getting into these rants, but this is critical. Now, forget what today is. Sunday night, we have the roundtable. Roundtable is always at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Chip and I co-hosting. And if you guys twist Chip's arm enough, he might come back and do a live stream for the XRP Minute. So, but he is throwing out some good videos on the other channel. We had some good ones that came out this week. And stay tuned. Again, make sure you guys go check out the go check out our website, because on the website we're tweaking a little bit. Sometimes it's hard to do all the things that we want to do quickly, especially when you're working full time and doing all these other things. But we want to make sure we keep getting the message out to you. We want to make it easy for everybody that's in the On the Chain community, because all you guys are part of our On the Chain community. I would love to see everybody here on our Telegram chat. So if you guys aren't on Telegram yet, download the Telegram app, join up with the On the Chain roundtable. Let's boost the numbers over there. Continue this conversation, because we need to learn from everybody. If there's anything specific you guys want to hear, make sure you shoot it over to us. You can throw it on Telegram. You can throw it through Twitter, what have you. But again, this is phenomenal. Really loved having you guys on today. Well, that about does it for today, but I'll see you guys next Saturday. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Make sure you guys tune in at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the roundtable. And I think that's it. Anybody else? All right, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys next week, tomorrow night, next week. See ya.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.